Greetings, all praise the King. Today we're speaking of distancing, a beastly concept, part of the series on witchcraft, which falls in the realm of deception. Distancing is a lie. It is the effort to make the appearance that one is opposed to something or someone, often seen with the polytricks. In this so-called system of democracy, there's elected representatives, and they are working for a small group of individuals known as the world classes. And these individuals control most all the wealth. It goes without really saying. We spoke about this at great length. Today it's more evident than ever when you can look through one of their satellites to see the living conditions, and you can make a comparison with those populations of the earth and determine that something ain't right. The root word is demon. It is those lusts that drive the activities of these few individuals. As demons take over, they lose control of their senses, like a bloodthirsty animal. They just don't see. They're blinded by their own visions. Now that they've controlled most of the wealth, they have a need to keep it. And they figured out what others were saying because they built the technology to be able to monitor all the communications. And they realized that others were aware that they were getting ripped off. So they said, well, we have to protect ourselves. So this is all a means of protection. Here in these democratic nations, we have these two-party systems that function to support each other. They find issues that people are disagreeing with, and they use these as tools of manipulation. Whenever they choose to hinder a process, they play, the obstruction game. That nothing can get done because the other party is preventing it from happening. Essentially, they give people something to fight for this party. They both play into this, we are all one, let's unite, the collective is more important than the individual. Although one party claims to represent the individual, certainly when you see the following, you'll know that they are inclined to support the group consensus over their own principles, if they had it. Basically, these folks are looking to get rich, to empower themselves, to feel important. They like most people, are looking for a sense of belonging, a purpose in life, because they have not come to know the Lord. They are in void of this meaning. When they are included within an organization, they feel longed, wanted. These parties function for the same interest. Again, something that could probably not be more obvious. If you take one party that claims to support, say, pro-life, and you give them all the strength of the institution, the House, the Senate, the administration, what changes? Similarly, if you have another party in control of all these arenas of government, what had changed? So, abortion's not eliminated. People didn't get no Medicare for all. The income inequality got worse. Yeah, both of these groups claim to represent the working class. What is the working class other than those that are paid less? Yet, what are the results? So, results are crucial. Instead of trying to analyze all the details preliminary to the facts, how about looking at the outcome and then making a determination to say, well, maybe it wasn't intended to be like this, but it is. And so what adjustments may be made to make these necessary changes to balance the prospect or opportunity. The balance is crucial to this lesson because it is this balance that they sell themselves upon. And in this instance, the term is checks and balances. Supposedly, this is the function of the two-party system. Again, if we were to examine the implications, then we would conclude something ain't right. Nevertheless, they continue to come with these exercises to prove that their system is working for all. And maybe not at the moment, but in the future. You know, they sell this thing. We talked about the stories. The foundation of Babylon is all fiction. And these exercises are an example of this, because it's being framed just like a picture is framed, and portrayed, like such. Unification, all in it together. USA. Other nations come with a separate slogan to promote their own nationality. Here, we we're told it's the greatest nation on the earth. All up and down. Great for foreigners with capital. Today we're looking at these exercises. In the past, they were called psychological operations. And basically, almost everything is. It's a feeding process. They're giving people information, and they're letting people make their own judgment as to what it is to interpret. They give people a select amount of information. Most of it is less than true. It is what could be considered an indirect lie. As we spoke, their tales are both long and short. When they are short, they're leaving out details, facts. When they're long, they're adding information that's trivial. Today, with this, what has been termed the beast savior exercise, is a way to drive the populations towards the beast, the first, which is man's rule. Now, populations are already becoming in tune to the second beast, which is this artificial intelligence, giving the power to the first beast. In the future, this will be making decisions in court cases. How else shall it be explained? These exercises are usually conducted through the communication channels, traditionally functioning as an arm of the military through the Pentagon. There's maybe a few handfuls of these communication channels that contain most of the attention. There's the effort today, another exercise called fake news, to flood the public with information that is overwhelming and blatantly untrue, so as to drive the populations towards those mainstream sources. You know, the Babylon is talking about the source. Find the source. Well, what source do people have to go to? Are they going to go to the dictionary? Well, that was written by someone. Are they going to go to a television or a newspaper? Well, that was written by someone. So, what content is not biased? When they ask people for their sources, they're actually attempting to get people to lose the ear of others, so that if they say, well, I heard about this on Fox News, and people say, oh no, not that, you know, I wouldn't listen to anything they say. But yet, if you told somebody the same information and told them, well, I just thought about it, would they believe you? Or would they more be likely to believe you if you told them that you got the information from a source, even if it was one that was not trusted by that person? So you see, these communication channels have a branding effect, that people are conditioned to believe them. And yet, why is it that people trusted in the prophets? Well, because their prophecy came true. we were able to see the results. Say Babylon took Judah into captivity in 587. So Jeremiah was correct. Yet people seem to have not learned from their past. Babylon requires the participation. When people make a decision based on what they see, based on the exercise that have been shown from the communication channels, they are independent. Nelson Mandela would have his soldiers make decisions for themselves. He would lead them to a place where he was comfortable that they would make the right decision. And yet, by doing it, by giving the flexibility, they were empowered and they felt a stake as a result. And they were willing to put more energy into this cause. Communication channels, they're going to give you the select information. It's a no-brainer. And yet, they're playing into confoundment as to present the problem and then code it as to make it, to belittle this issue. So that if there is a perceived opponent, they began to wrap the opponent in swaddling clothes so as to nurture the same feast that previously had an odor. Now it's dried, odor's gone. Still a piece of feast, just more pleasant. So it seems. Again, the effort to drive the populations towards the man-beast and even the god-beast. When the Babylonians set up the associations, this is in effect the same. A way to conform others to a collective body, the beast body. These are products of institutions. When the world classes got together many years ago, they figured out we've got to give our orders through some kinds of organization, because if we do not, then people will blame us for being self-conceited. Basically, if the nation or a community decides, let's do something, let's do it together, it would be easier to get others to come along than if one person stands up and says, let's all do this, let's do it together. Yeah. Because it's that beast force that we spoke about. The beast force. That pulls people in that direction. Remember, as it watches people, it determines the most efficient ways to move the populations towards it. Without the populations, it starves. So these institutions, could be a company, could be an agency, Homeland Security, FBI, the military, all the branches. It could be a university. They're all tied together. Founded upon their master. And they have information, power, in the form of knowledge. They, using the device, able to gain the input to sell their shit.